So, picture this. Superman. Yes, the Superman is chained up in Arkham Asylum, rocking his black Kryptonian battlesuit. Why? Because Emperor Joker decided he needed a bit of spice in his sadistic new reality. The city wasn't just broken. It was a farce, stitched together by a lunatic with too much imagination and no brakes. But Superman wasn't staying long. Black chains? Please. This was the Man of Steel. With a roar that could shatter mountains, he broke free. Out in Mephipolis, a marquee blinked, starring Wonder Woman. Superman growled, his fists shaking. The entire city was a joke, but he was the punchline. Accused of murdering a Lex Luthor he didn't even know. He didn't remember a Lex Luthor. He didn't kill. Superman doesn't kill. Before he could process the madness, a high-pitched voice called out, "Big guy, you gotta listen to me." Mr. M, the fifth-dimensional imp, was waving his arms wildly, but before the words landed, a train slammed into him. Superman didn't even flinch. That was the third time today. To draw out his so-called friends, Superman punched a building to rubble right across from an Acme bomb planted where the Daily Planet used to be. He had no secret identity, no home to hide in. He was a target with nowhere to run. And then he arrived. Bizarro. His opposite, his shadow, his twisted reflection. "Me save you, Superman!" Bizarro's warped grin spread wide as he lunged. Their fight was brutal and messy, with Superman being knocked into the Lane Corp building where Lois Lane stood. But this wasn't his Lois. This one was colder, calculating, a megalomaniac in heels. "Help me," Superman pleaded. "Of course," she purred. Then she sixed her hounds on him. Bizarro stormed in, and Lois, ever the businesswoman, demanded payment for the damage to her windows. Superman barely had time to breathe before he was dragged out, battered, and tossed through the air like a rag doll. The world's absurdity didn't stop at Lois. In the graveyard of solitude, Jimmy Olsen, Bizarro's loyal pal, tended the graves of fallen heroes. Huntress, Nightwing, Robin. Their headstones stretched out like a mockery of justice. When Bizarro tried to drown Superman in the harbor, things took a darker turn. Aquaman, or what was left of him, a fish-headed man with an axe for an arm, intervened, only to be frozen solid by Bizarro's ice vision. Superman was whisked back to Arkham, his mind reeling. Meanwhile, in a temple across town, Matrix sat praying. Before her, she saw an image of Superman asking for help. Her shriek brought the priest, Perry White, running. He arrived to find Matrix hovering in the air, flaming wings bursting from her back. He attempted to pull her down but was easily thrown off. Distraught, he called for an exorcism. But Superman wasn't done yet. He escaped again, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, refusing to be caged. A helicopter appeared in the sky, its floodlights blinding him. Inside was Lois Lane, offering him sanctuary. Exhausted, Superman collapsed onto a bed in her secret bunker, but it was a trap. Electric fields surged, locking him in. Lois whispered to her doctors, "Begin the tests." Superman's screams echoed through the walls. Meanwhile, chaos reigned. On the moon, the JLA argued about Superman and Bizarro. When Bizarro returned, he declared that he and Scorch were to go after Superman. The two left the watchtower. On Earth, Jimmy Olsen visited a science exhibit. Suddenly, the flab and the turtle broke through a wall. As the two wrestled, the turtle bit Jimmy's hand. Feeling weird, Jimmy left the room and walked outside. Suddenly, he doubled over in pain and was transformed into the giant turtle boy. In the temple, Uncle Oswald came into the room to purify Matrix. He donned a mask of Alfred E. Newman and sprayed Matrix with seltzer water. Her wings expanded in shock, and Matrix burned a hole through the roof, flying away. In the underground bunker, Lois was shocked to see that Bizarro was headed their way. She deactivated the field and let Superman go. Before he left, Superman embraced Lois and kissed her deeply. Outside, the battle began. Bizarro, a pale imitation of Superman, unleashed his fury, knocking the Man of Steel to the ground. Scorch, his fiery companion, surrounded them with walls of flame. The flames roar with intensity, but Superman, undeterred, finds strength in the chaos. He exhales deeply, extinguishing the flames in an instant, and with a powerful thrust, he sends Scorch hurtling into the distance. But Bizarro, relentless as ever, takes to the skies, attacking with the brute force of a man who knows no limits. It's a fight unlike any other, but in a moment of sheer will, Superman sends Bizarro into orbit, a victory at a great cost. Weakened, Superman falls to the ground, but his eyes lift to see a new hope, Supergirl. Clad in radiant white robes, she hovers above him, extending her hand in unity. Together, they could rebuild a broken world, but the moment is fleeting. Jimmy Olsen, now a towering figure of destruction, steps forward, crushing Supergirl beneath his monstrous foot. The weight of the world falls upon Superman once more, and in that moment, hope seems impossible. What's next for Superman? Subscribe now to find out.